Hey, what is up, everybody? Straight Shootin LJA here. Welcome to another episode of the Straight Shootin View. Now, you know what, yeah? Hey, I've been wearing my mask around. I'm out and about, so I don't really need to right now, but I'm going to be going into somewhere where I will need to. But you know what, yeah? I want to say happy 2021 first and foremost, and let me kick off 2021 with this: social media. Social media. When it comes to footballers, and whether it be female, male, black, whatever, it's a case of social media is a fertile breeding ground for bigotry, idiocy, hatred, and the like. And it's a real shame. And I base this on a number of instances that we've seen over the years where people have been abused. You had Nile Ranger a few years ago being racially abused, and that sort of abuse crops up one hell of a lot on social media. Racial abuse seems to be a special one that always crops up. But I want to narrow this down to kind of general abuse. I know narrow and general is kind of an oxymoron to an extent, but I want to narrow this down to Karen Carney. Now, Karen Carney basically said words to the effect of, I'm not going to quote exactly because I don't want to garble the quote, but she basically said words to the effect of, Leeds only really won the championship last season because of COVID and the break that they had. Now, some people have said, yeah, historically Leeds usually kind of fall off and collapse in the last few months of the season, which they have done on a couple of occasions. Similar to Arsenal and that capitulation they used to have in January, February, going into March, and by the middle of March, everything had screwed up their season. We used to have fun on pitch talk shows about that. It's like Arsenal are going to capitulate. Remember Jesse Fizzle's famous line. But yeah, it's one of them where the abuse and the vitriol that Karen Carney got back was an absolute disgrace. And for me, this is the problem with social media. But to me, there's two sides to this. A lot of pundits like to shoot their mouths off. And to me, Karen Carney didn't actually need to say what she said. She didn't need to make the assertion that Leeds only won the title, the championship, because of a lengthy break due to COVID. She didn't need to say that. So there's pundits who have to have some responsibility for what they say. Similar to guys like, say, Robbie Savage, who in my view is just controversial for the sake of it. He just comes out, shoots his mouth off. I mean, I remember him a few years ago shooting his mouth off about John Terry. And John Terry snapped back at him, and it was like, not that I'm defending it, but I'm just saying, John Terry snapped back at him and was like, who the hell are you and what the hell have you ever won? Here's your L, hold it, in the words of Stormzy. So it's one of them ones where I think pundits need to have a lot more responsibility, a lot more wherewithal, and they need to be a bit more careful in terms of what they say, how they say it, and to who they're saying it to and about. Because Carney said comments, I think it was on an Amazon Prime broadcast. So you've got an audience, you've got a big audience there. But conversely, Leeds United didn't need to come out and say what they said. They didn't need to come out and say basically words to the effect of, I think through Andrea Razzurani, I think is his name. Sorry if I botched that one. But he said that basically, we here at Leeds United, we're not happy with Carney's comments. And they said it via the Twitter account as well, where it's like, yeah, we're not happy with Carney's comments and we don't like the assertion that she's made, and Now, for me, Leeds didn't really need to say that. They're well within their rights to, don't get me wrong, because at the end of the day, if someone talks smack about your club, you're going to want to fire back at them. And I remember I did a vlog recently about club owners, VIPs, should they stay quiet? And most of the time, they should stay quiet. Like Tony Khan earlier in the season, talking about, oh, we tried to get some players in after, I think it was a defeat against Aston Villa. Check out my previous Straight Shootin View vlog for that. But so I won't rehash it. But then you've got Steve Parish at Crystal Palace he came out and was dispelling rumours about Rhian Brewster, about a deal being agreed there for him to go to the Palace, and he was like, nah, that's rumour and innuendo, and if you're reporting that as fact, well, you've got your facts wrong, because it's not true. So there are times where I think club VIPs and that kind of thing should be vocal in dispelling rumours, especially when it's just blatant fabrication for clickbait, to be perfectly honest these days, or to sell newspapers in that dying medium. So it's one of them where it's like, pundits et al. Need to have a lot more responsibility, but clubs need to as well. Because as I said, Leeds, they were well within their rights to say what they said, but they didn't necessarily need to say it. So there's that as well. So the backlash that Karen Carney ended up getting was really sad to see. It's sad to see that people can't see context. And what Karen Carney said was her opinion. She wasn't, I mean, it's one of them was where, yeah, maybe it could have been phrased better. Maybe it could have been, oh, in my opinion, I feel that Leeds only won the championship because of this. If you preface it like that, then that's a lot more different to, oh, Leeds only really won the championship because of this. Different. Context is king, and I'm a firm believer and a firm proponent of the concept that it's not only about what you say, but it's about how you say it, what words you choose. Semantics is a big thing to me, as you will well know from my vlogs, and if you know me personally. Semantics is massive to me. Semantics are massive to me. It's a massive thing. The study of words is what it literally boils down to. So it's one of them was, I think Karen Carney could have chosen her words better, and she was probably better off not saying anything at all. And sadly, female footballers are always going to, and it's so sad to see that in this day and age, no matter how good a pundit you are, as a female, you're always kind of coming from a losing position. Because not only do you have to prove that you're a great pundit, but you have to continue to prove it, and you have to go above and beyond what a man would usually have to go through to be regarded as a great pundit. So you look at someone like, say, Alex Scott. Alex Scott is every bit the pundit that Gary Neville is. But because she's a woman, there are some people who still, just based on that fact alone, will not take her as seriously. And she's a fantastic pundit, but then again, coming back to social media abuse and all these trolls and keyboard warriors who wouldn't say it to people's faces, who talk smack. Look at the abuse and vitriol that Alex Scott got after, Sue Barker stepped down as host of A Question of Sport, and someone said, and it wasn't even true, someone said that Alex Scott was going to take over as a host of A Question of Sport, and the abuse and vitriol that Alex Scott got, it was like, wait, really? Really? Okay, so I guess this goes there. But then sometimes as well, I think especially with that particular example, it's like, oh, okay, this is about more than her just being a woman. This is about her being a woman of colour and taking over a show like A Question of Sport on the BBC. I think it was down to those two factors. Not just her being a woman, but being a woman of colour. So it's one of them where it's like social media abuse. It's a disgrace, and Karen Carney had to shut down her account because of it, her Twitter account. And it's like, that's a disgrace. And there was also an Arsenal goalkeeper whose name escapes me, but he recently had to shut down his Twitter account because of abuse on social media. And something really needs to be done about this, because as much as Leeds shouldn't have said what they said, people need to look at context, and this is a problem in the wider world as well. I'm not going to get political. That's for the Straight Shootin rants, also on YouTube and Instagram. But it's one of them where it's like in the wider world, people don't research enough. People don't look for that context enough. And one of the main things about context is, as Eric Bischoff says, context is king. And context on a general basis will tell you everything you need to know. And the most important question is to ask is why? Because the why will tell you the what, when, and how. So, yeah, as much as I said, I don't condone Leeds and what they did, but at the same time, I don't condone Karen Carney making that assertion that Leeds only won the championship because of the COVID break. Because it's not as if they chose to have that break. That was enforced. So it's one of them. It's like people saying VAR gave Liverpool the title, even though we were 25 points clear. Oh, you only won the title because of COVID. We were 25 points clear before the lockdowns in March. So here, once again, here's your L, hold it. So people like to make assertions, but if you're making assertions about anyone, anything, you need to preface that, unless you can back it up categorically with fact. You need to be careful how you're shooting your mouth off, and you need to make sure, in my view, that you're prefacing it as opinion, not fact. Thoughts, feelings, that's not fact. Fact is, it's evening. Look, it's evening right now. That's fact. That's not rumor. That's not what I think. That is fact. And you can see that. You can look out, seeing street lamps on. You can see that it's coming into the evening. So that's fact. Me thinking, me saying, oh, it kind of feels like it's early morning right now. No, that's not fact. That's me. I feel that something is this. Oh, I think something is like this. So it's one of them where it's like, there is a difference between opinion and fact, and too many people don't know the difference. And for me, a lot of people won't research and find out the difference either. But yeah, as said, social media abuse, there's no place for it. And as I said, a lot of these keyboard warriors, internet gangsters, whatever you want to call them, they'll do it online because they can hide behind the keyboard. And clubs really and truly need to be careful what they're saying online as well. If they're coming out and refuting rumours, yeah, then fine. But as I said, there's two sides to this. Pundits need to have responsibility, and also so do the clubs in regards to responding to it, if they do. Hey, I've been Straight Shootin LJA, and comments section is down there. Down where? Down there. I want to know your views. Was Karen Carney right to say what she said? Were Leeds right to fire back? And should pundits take more responsibility for their actions and their words in general? I think they should, to be perfectly honest. I think both parties should, clubs and pundits as well. But it's one of them. I want to know your views. This has been another episode of the Straight Shootin View, the first one of 2021. Welcome to a brand new year. And in regards to leaving 2020 behind, I am hoping I am not going to be looking back at this time next year and saying, my God, I should have opened up the year with welcome to your worst nightmare. Hopefully not. This has been the Straight Shootin View, and until next time, remember, at Pitch Talk on Twitter, tweet with us, follow us, see what we're up to. Facebook.com/Pitch Talk. We got a fan page, we got the group as well. We're also on Instagram at Pitch Talk on Instagram. We got podcasts on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean. Oh my God, we got them everywhere. And also the archive stuff on Mixcloud at mixcloud.com/Pitch Talk as well. YouTube.com/Pitch Talk for all of the videos, including 5 Minutes with the G, Coaching with JBK, and the Straight Shootin View, and many, many, many more videos, including our Pitch Talk special feature segments. I have been Straight Shootin LJA, and until next time on the Straight Shootin View, thank you for your time. Take it easy, peeps.
Join the Pitch Talk revolution on social media, dropping vlogs, blogs, videos, and podcasts on the beautiful game.